Yes people, what is good? I am BA, back once again with another reaction in the Rome series. This is episode 7 of season 1 and it is called Pharsalus. Last episode was basically the Mark Antony is an absolute legend coming out party. We saw him maneuver his way through the episode like an absolute G. Caesar was requesting backup from his legion. He decided to hold off on sending them and convey this news to multiple people to see exactly where they stood. Played them all like a fiddle, got the exact information he wanted to, and then went to help Caesar anyway. What an absolute don. I already liked the way they were showing Mark Antony up until that point last episode, but the whole of last episode took him to an entirely different stratosphere of absolutely instant legend. What a G. I'd love to know if he was this savvy or he did something similar to what they showed last episode in real life, because if so, that makes it even more incredible. And seeing Attia get exposed and told to her face what a scheming little rat she was incredibly satisfying. Also in that household, Augustus, because Attia was exposed like that, is getting sent to university. He had an absolute whirlwind of an episode last episode. Attia was on one, she wanted him to lose his virginity, and then because she'd clearly shown her true colours to Mark Antony, she had to get him out of the city. So poor little Augustus was like, boom, virginity lost, boom, go to university. That boy did not know what direction he was spinning in last episode, but I've got a feeling he's going to thrive in university. The only downside of that is that takes him out of Rome, and he's quite an interesting character in the show, but I'm sure he'll come back a very educated, learned man. And I don't know what this guy's real history went on to be, but I know he must have been quite significant, obviously, because he has a month named after him. So I wonder if he was a great war strategist or philosopher. It seems like those two fields would be the most likely which he excelled in, given how they're writing his character, but who knows. And yeah, as I said earlier, by the end of the episode, Mark Antony rallied the 13th and they went to go and help Caesar. The only downside of it is they decided to go on boats during a nighttime absolute horrible storm. And the last thing we saw was Titus, Pullo and Lucius clinging onto their boat for dear life as the heavens opened up above them. So here's hoping they make it to Caesar in one piece. Regardless, I'm looking forward to this week's episode as always, so let's go. This is episode 7, season 1 of Rome, Pharsalus. Let's check it out and see what it's saying to it. Now there's something you don't usually focus on the credits, but I just saw that the casting director was called Nina Gold. I wonder what other shows she has casted on, because she is very good at picking an ensemble cast, and she has a good taste in actors. We need to start paying attention to that credit more often, I would say. I'd love to know who the Sopranos casting director was, what an ensemble cast they picked, for example. Oh, directed by Tim Van Patten, no way! Obviously, Sopranos writer, director, legend Tim Van Patten. Always got faith when his name's on something. HBO must love that dude. No fucking way did the ship wreck in the storm. See, this is what I was saying last episode. They should have waited till the storm subsided. I understand that it was of the utmost urgency, but what's the point in them doing it so urgently that they die before they even are able to provide you any assistance? Of course, Titus and Lucius are the two guys that survived. Oh fuck, they never even made it over, they're on some random island. Oh no. Damn, I didn't think we were gonna get a stranded on a desert island storyline. This show continues to impress me with the direction it takes.
We could hold out until the rains come.
If we go eastward, they'll be able to cut us off here.
Mark Antony knew it was a good idea to take the submarine.
And beat them.
Oh, we shall crush them. Doubtless.
I love his confidence. Even ancient Rome had the little barbershop towel. Who'd have thought it?
Macedonia to Libo.
Plums for your people.
Brutus has definitely chosen his side then. He is in the trenches with Magnus.
Has lost near 2,000 men.
I think we may safely say that here is a rabbit ready for the pot.
Surely they're underestimating Caesar still though. He's got to have some more tricks up his sleeve than just being a sitting duck for these guys.
A month or so more, the remains of his army will disintegrate and disappear.
Oh, so instead of going for a final attack, he's just planning on starving out his resources since he's got him cornered.
Honour demands we walk in his blood.
Certainly, need he?
But you would have hunger do our work for us.
See, I prefer that guy's version of what's supposed to go down.
Conquer and crush your enemies as if they were insects.
It's true. It's just like in martial arts. If you're a champion and you're coming up against a contender that is not supposed to be as good as you are expected to finish them. If it's like a decision victory, it makes you look worse than not having fought at all. And because Magnus perceives himself as the champion in this situation and in an incredibly dominant position, he has to perceivably finish the job.
I asked Timon for protection and he sends me a bunch of half-wits and clowns.
Good. I hope that fucking parrot is the height of your personal protection.
You must go to Sevilla and ask for a few of her men to stand outside for us. Why?
Oh, I bet Sevilla would love to send some guys to guard your door. She will send the best of the best, I'm sure.
What did she say?
Nothing. Nothing.
She said something.
Oh, she said nothing.
Yeah, it was more the look of death she was generally displaying, which was the unnerving part.
Very nice. Don't.
Oh, she has not forgiven you.
I've got money if you need some.
I'm sure you have. Turns out your man backed the right horse.
I mean, she has reason enough to hate the fuck out of her for what she did to her. She doesn't need to start picking apart her nice life to find additional reasons to hate the shit out of her.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to be like this.
Man, that's some sad, honest shit she's just said to her. I bet she didn't want to be like this. She's been cheated on by a good friend of hers who's had a baby with her man, and then her man's been stabbed because of the shit that he did with her friend who cheated on her. That's just a brutal, honest human expression there. Of course she didn't want to end up being a hateful person, but the world did that shit to her.
Do you want some honey water?
And she's being so cool, even like, you know, embracing her there and forgiving her because, I mean, that's a stronger person than me, and I'm sure many of you, if one of my best friends done some fucking disloyal shit like that, they wouldn't be in my life no more.
Wasting your time! We'll die of thirst long before we die of hunger.
100% true. In a situation like that, you have to figure out the water problem, then worry about food. I have to tell you guys, there's a thing on YouTube, I think it's called I Shouldn't Be Alive, and there's one about a guy that survived on the ocean for 3 months. It's on YouTube, the full episode, and it's got pretty well acted and fairly decently budgeted sequences showing the guy's story, and it's a true story. Imagine having to live at sea for 3 months. Go and watch that video on YouTube after this, it's incredible.
If I'm to be a beggar, I will not look like one.
Oh, I'm not objecting, my honey, though you will remind Sevilla of what an old trout she's become.
Oh, wow. Just when you think, like, I can't believe Sevilla did that witch's curse, I can't believe she's took it there. Then you actually listen to Atia talk for a few seconds and you're like, oh, right, yeah, that's why.
Forgive me. You are so good to us. We do not deserve it.
I feel like Sevilla is going to end up not doing anything to this family just because of how adorable and innocent the daughter is. And Sevilla can tell straight away she's like genuine and not fake like Atia.
I better go home.
So soon?
My mother will be worried.
Is she trying to get with a daughter to get back at Atia?
Thank you.
It's sometimes so hard to gauge her intentions in scenes. I don't know if she's genuinely starting to warm up to Atia's daughter or if she is willing to, you know, manipulate even the daughter to exact her revenge.
The decisive battle begins today.
No fucking way Magnus is winning a decisive battle. Caesar has to have a trick up his sleeve.
We will accept battle.
Certainly, why not?
Caesar seems quite chilled out pre-war.
That is the advantage. We must press home. We must win or die.
That is good motivation. There it is. There's the intro thing. Interesting pre-battle rituals here. Caesar praying to the gods and Magnus washing his face for the first time in 3 months. Still, usually the numbers count for everything, especially in a situation where there's no technological advantage. So, how the fuck is Caesar actually going to win this fight? Magnus with his weird out-of-place purple cloak. He looks like a wizard that got really into punk. And again, this is a moment where you see the budget limitations of the show. Still filmed very well. And Caesar won. So is Magnus dead? Because we just literally got to see a few swords clash in close shots for a few seconds, with no sign of Magnus.
Send to Rome. Tell them Caesar has won.
It makes you think as well, wow, how good would some of these episodes have been if they had the budget for battle sequences. In Game of Thrones, they had whole episodes dedicated to battle sequences. That one moment we saw in a montage due to the budget limitations could have been a whole episode, you know, if the budget was different. Well, at least Magnus somehow lived.
Cut my hand.
We have to go, sir.
It's not deep, but it hurts.
This is the monologue of a defeated man. He brought this shit on himself. Can't even feel bad for Magnus.
We must rally the cities of Africa.
Africa. Dear gods, we're fast running out of continents.
And coin.
Of course, this little sewing circle survived. No chance they were on the actual field.
I will go from here and surrender myself to Caesar.
Have you no dignity?
I'm not afraid to die. I'm tired.
That's interesting. He's not even leaving because of cowardly reasons. He's literally just fed up of this shit.
If I had known what an old fool is Pompey, I would never have left Rome.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Brutus. If you were any sort of man, you would have stayed with your mother to begin with. Don't start giving some big speech about it now.
Perhaps it's better we do not travel together.
This guy doesn't want to be anywhere near Magnus right now. I don't know if Magnus heard the other guy say he was going to go and surrender to Caesar or not, but I reckon he would be cool with that guy doing it as well, the way he's talking. He knows that now it's just a reset game. They need to survive, go away somewhere, get money, get resources, and then come back. There's nothing they can do right now. Hi folks, sorry to interrupt, but just real quick, if the next card I pick up is the Ace of Spades, you will join my Patreon group, right? Ha! Join the fucking gang. Can your favourite reactor do that? No.
How do you go about finding people? There must be millions of them.
Must be.
Good question. Maybe there's Afterlife Facebook.
See how high it rides in the water? The plutonic ether inflates it.
What does that mean? I do not know what the significance of that was. Is he making a raft out of people? A human body barge. Now there's something I've never seen before. It's not going to help the rowing against tide.
Splendid.
Oh. Yeah.
I thought he left his wife in Rome. Has she since joined him? Well, fuck it, it kept him alive. That is the first step. Actually looks quite comfortable. This whole running out of water thing is going to start sucking real quick though.
Hello?
She just jacked her chain. People were getting their chains snatched sleeping in caves in ancient Rome.
Lysandros, how far to Amphiboly?
Oh, very close, close.
I like this guy's metal nose.
I'll tolerate no more of your impudence.
No disrespect, Captain, only asking.
I don't know, I think all these people are starting to sense Magnus's weakness. Even this guy doesn't look like he's really loyal to him anymore, he's just looking to see how much gold he can exploit from him. Well, after the penis last episode, I for one, thank you HBO.
Sevilla sends to invite you to weave with her tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Sevilla is purposely trying to seduce this daughter to get back at Atia. There's some cinematic trees.
Look, Mama! Dead people!
Oh, it's Lucius. Was that the remains of the man barge? Well, these aren't the two soldiers that Magnus wants to see.
Get to Amphiboly in the morning.
I insist we go on.
Relax, old man. We get there.
I like that that guy's just trumped his order there.
You and me will be good friends.
I don't know why he took such an instant liking to the shipwrecked soldiers.
Who are they?
How should I know? Who cares who they are?
You will care very much if they get their energy back, Mr. Magnus. They would love nothing more than to bring your fucking head to Caesar. Or even better, imagine if they managed to bring Magnus to Caesar alive.
His wife and Sprouts, too. Oh, Caesar's gonna drown us in gold, thank you.
100%. If these guys do anything to Magnus, they will forever be legends to Caesar.
What do we do? I don't know yet.
Smart move by Lucius. If I was them, I would play possum for a little bit, get some energy back, at least get a sleep, then in the morning do something.
I'm sorry you were upset. The last time we saw each other.
It's of no consequence.
This scene 100% ends in a seduction.
Caesar has won. And Pompey's armies are completely destroyed.
Oh, this might completely ruin the seduction.
Don't cry.
Still don't know if this is part manipulation or complete genuine worry that her son is dead. I called it. This is exactly what Sevilla wanted as well. She fucking hates Atia. Now she can go to sleep like, fuck you, your daughter licks my pussy, you bitch.
Who are you? What's your purpose? We are Rome, boy. What's left of it.
Well, you might want to choose a slightly different attitude if your intentions are to surrender. I wouldn't let no rude, back-chatting person surrender to me. They would be getting beheaded the fuck out of.
I'm come here honourably, with no request for mercy, to surrender my arms.
See the difference there? Caesar had a genuine happiness and surprise to see that Brutus was still alive and embraced him genuinely, and Brutus was almost ashamed of himself for not feeling the same way about Caesar.
Thank you. I will not forget this grace. Service.
Brutus looks like he's harbouring resentment, but is it self-hatred, guilt? I'm not sure how to take the way he's conveying his emotions right now.
Come.
I think I would rather...
I insist.
Don't make him have you brought there. I mean, he could imprison you right now. Oh, Mark Antony will be loving this shit. This dinner table is about to get real awkward. An offering of wine and bread. Incredibly symbolic of saying, you know, this guy eats worse, it's cool.
I remember on one occasion I was out hunting with the king.
The other thing that could happen here is Lucius and Titus spend so much time in Magnus's presence that they sort of like him for being a family man and shit and actually let him go.
Me and my boys can't take his people alone. Us and you together? No problem.
So this guy clocked exactly what was going on and wanted a part of the action. It was a fair deal, to be honest. All he wanted was the slaves. They're already slaves. They can't get more enslaved. You forget how deadly Lucius is as a soldier until little moments like that. Holy fuck, that was a quick response.
I am Aeneas Meller, a Pergamon.
So he's gonna keep up the act. We'll see how long they let him play this shit.
Don't let him leave.
Lucius Vorenus, I must speak with you alone.
What can Magnus pull out of the playbook to convince Lucius to let him go?
Near 30.
30? How many men did you have?
60,000.
60,000? Is that a single legion? So can the 13th be up to 60,000 troops?
Didn't seem possible to lose. It's always a bad sign.
I suppose when you're so arrogant and confident you won't lose and you're up against people who have to fight or die, yeah, the mentality might win the day for the people with the less numbers.
Turned and fled, 200 horses. Crashed directly into my left flank.
His own attack destroyed his own defense. Shit. He's basically like a UFC fighter who loses a fight by kicking himself in the face.
Consider the fate of my wife and children.
I do feel bad for him in that instance. I don't want to see women and innocent children die. I feel like that's a fair request. I feel like Lucius should grant that request. And it's something he would ask of himself if he was captured with his wife and children. probably the nicest night's sleep she's had since Caesar left.
Caesar would have given us farms and fields and orchards and...
Are they leaving Magnus?
Don't see why not. There's a great deal you don't see.
I cannot believe this. I was expecting Lucius to allow his wife and children to go, but to leave him with them, now that is becoming a bit too much of a family man and not thinking about the fate of your army anymore.
I thought it would be wrong to do so. Explain yourself.
I know Mark Antony won't like this, but maybe Caesar will understand.
If he is still living, he will be a standard around which our enemies will gather.
This is true.
Who but the sons of this gives you the right to make such judgments?
Sir, I am aware that I have not done my duty.
This is great acting by the guy that's playing Caesar. And I agree with him. I think Lucius was being soft.
I do not like to disagree with you, but you're being far too lenient with him.
I knew Mark Antony would want them instantly beheaded for that shit.
They found my stolen standard. Now they survive a wreck that drowned an army and find Pompey Magnus on a beach.
It's true, they seem to be stumbling into a lot of significant situations.
We're going to Egypt.
We are getting to see everywhere in this show. This is going to be amazing. Did they do this in real life? Did they track Magnus all the way to Egypt in real life? I know the Romans went to Egypt, but I didn't think we'd be getting to see, like, them chasing another Roman who has fled there to there.
Lucius Septimius. Centurion Septimius, as was. I was with you in Spain.
Another Lucius? Well, sorry, my friend, but you will forever be Lucius too. Oh, shit. A sneak attack as he arrived to Egypt. And just like that, that is the fucking end of Pompey Magnus, holy shit. Yo, this show's epic as fuck. Okay, and that was episode 7 of season 1 of Rome Pharsalus, and I will be back in just a minute with my thoughts on that. So, Pharsalus, what did I think of that? Man, episode 7, this has probably got to be one of the greatest season 1s of all time for me. Just episode to episode, it truly is gripping shit. I don't know if everybody feels the same watching this. I'm sure a lot of you guys in the comments will, because we're all fans of this show here, but for me, it must just resonate with, like, things I'm interested in or my personality type. Like, there's things that just pull me in like that. And this is another episode. It was just incredible. I love the way the story just interestingly flows throughout this season, and every storyline seems to be something I'm interested in. So first we saw Titus and Lucius get shipwrecked on this desert island. 2 of like 12 guys out of a fleet of 5,000 that all got destroyed. So they're on this island for a bit trying to figure shit out. They make a human barge and manage to escape on it. That is something I had never seen before. Little bit of ingenuity by Lucius there, and at least they got off the desert island. Servilia was playing more mind games with Attia by seducing her daughter and ending up bedding her by the end of the episode. Again, I know she truly hates Attia and has also cursed Caesar, but I did think she had no hard feelings towards the daughter, so the one thing I'm unsure about is she genuinely liking the daughter, and that's just a byproduct of her having to interact with Attia's family that they've hooked up? Or is this how malicious she is, and she's going to, like, really hurt the daughter or use the daughter to get to Attia? I believe, just because of the fury she showed in that scene where she was cursing people, that this is all part of a grander game by Servilia, but who knows? Regardless, she looked satisfied and like things were going her way when she was chilling in bed by the end of the episode. And yeah, like I said, it's a shame this show didn't have a bigger budget, because that Magnus versus Caesar clash would have been so epic to see. Think about it, Caesar outnumbered, they could have built up tension in the first 15 minutes, almost like when the Night King attacks Winterfell, where Caesar's men were preparing for the worst and talking about how they're about to gloriously march into death because they're all outnumbered, and set it up like it was a dead cert that Magnus was going to conquer, and then to actually see the sides clash. And that shit Magnus talked about him having a charge of 200 horses go up the left flank, but then get repelled, come back and destroy his own left flank defense. and then see the Romans pile through that now broken defensive flank. That would have been actually such a dope battle to see on screen, and unfortunately we had to hear Magnus explain it in a couple of sentences instead, just because Rome didn't have that Game of Thrones money. So Magnus, defeated, is trying to retreat to Egypt, and randomly Titus and Lucius's barge has crashed into the same island that Magnus plans to depart from in the morning. Crazy set of circumstances, and on top of that gold-nosed guy that was helping transport Magnus was going to attack and capture him also, and proposed to Titus and Lucius to join him. They were like, nah, fuck that, because we're going to apprehend him for Caesar kind of thing. That guy just wanted to split the bounties. He tries to draw his sword on Lucius, and within a blink of an eye, Lucius draws and pierces it straight through his neck. You forget how deadly Lucius is. I mean, he must be a really incredible soldier if he's part of the 13, you know. And on top of that, he's a prefect within this legion, which is a really high-ranking position. And little moments like that are just like, oh yeah, this guy's like a straight-up assassin. So, of course, they capture Magnus and plan to bring him to Caesar, and Magnus asks for a word with Lucius. You're thinking to yourself, there's nothing Magnus can say here to get himself out of it. But then you completely forget how much of a little family cuck Lucius has become over the last few episodes, and all Magnus needs to do is appeal to his parental side. And Lucius literally not only let the wife and children go, but Magnus as well. Now, I do not know what was going through his head, but you fucking let the wife and kids go, cool, fine. Bring Magnus to Caesar. You will probably get a promotion that is so high you'll never need to lift a sword again, showered in gold, as Titus Pullo said, and not for bad reasons. You're capturing an enemy who would have killed you both, and your families, if your families had been in the position his were on the island you found him on. But no, Lucius cocked up and left Magnus with his fam, so of course when he got to Caesar, Caesar was infuriated, but let them live. And for an interesting reason, Mark Antony was so confused, but Caesar was like, here, these guys found my standard, found my gold coins, randomly found Magnus on an island, and survived a shipwreck that killed almost every other person. These dudes are literally like Bruce Willis in Unbreakable. We're letting them live. And I like Caesar's reasoning. He's a man who believes in his Roman gods, and shit, they are certainly hitting MacGuffin after MacGuffin, plot point after plot point, as they soldier their way through their life. And if I was Caesar and noticed that shit, I would want to keep them alive too. I'd be like, hold the fuck on. Let these guys walk a mile, see if they don't like stumble across a fucking gold mine or something. And then as a punchline to the episode, after Lucius and Titus let Magnus go, he sails all that way to Egypt only to be greeted at the shoreline by a double agent soldier who shanks and then beheads him. What a shocking ending to the episode. I actually don't know where the drama is going to sprout from now Magnus is dead. Perhaps Brutus, perhaps someone else, some of these surviving members of the anti-Caesar Senate who were on the run also. No idea, but I'll tell you one thing, by the end of the next episode I will understand completely where the story goes from here, because this show is so good at creating story arcs. I've got full faith they're going to introduce a whole new thing for me to get hyped about by the end of the next episode. And another great episode. I'm fucking loving this series. I hope you guys have been enjoying my reactions to it so far. If you've liked this one, click like. Subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, ring the bell to be notified as to when they drop. If there's anything you want to talk about, comment down below, and share this around to anyone you think might appreciate it or want to watch these reactions along with us. My Patreon link is down in the description. If you become a patron, you get access to my blog, you get access to these reactions I put on YouTube a month and a half in advance, and you also get access to full-length versions of everything I react to. So consider becoming a patron, it helps me and my channel out so much, and until next time, I have been BA, peace.